Hey friends, welcome back to the movie story. Tonight's film is about survival, betrayal, and a deadly mission across the desert. When an oil field explosion threatens to wipe out an entire refugee camp, two brothers must transport unstable nitroglycerin through war zones, bandits, and minefields, all while facing their past mistakes. But not everyone will make it out alive. Spoilers ahead. Let's dive in. The story begins. In the Middle East, Fred is on assignment for an oil company when he hears a commotion. He turns to see two vehicles engaged in a chase, exchanging gunfire. The chase involves NGO workers Clara and Jabril, who are fleeing from bandits. After their vehicle becomes immobilized on the road, Fred pulls up in his car and urges Clara to abandon the mission, but she refuses, citing the critical vaccines she needs to deliver. Fred then uses his vehicle to push hers, enabling them to get moving again. The pursuit lasts for several more miles until Fred and Clara's car successfully reaches a refugee camp. The camp guards open fire, and the bandits return it, damaging a pipe in the exchange. The bandits retreat when more guards on horseback arrive. With the immediate danger gone, Fred and Clara become intimate. Afterward, they discuss the incident, and Fred pleads with Clara to cease these dangerous runs. Clara, however, reminds him that she was raised in this region and is unwilling to stop her humanitarian work. 9 months earlier, political instability escalated, and riots erupted across most cities, leading to the president fleeing the country and the collapse of the government. Fred and his brother Alex had planned to escape to Paris, but Fred had one final job to complete. Alex stole a supply of explosives from the demolition company where he worked. Meanwhile, Fred navigated the riot-torn city. His car was struck by a Molotov cocktail, which he had to extinguish before fighting off several men to commandeer a new vehicle. Minutes later, Fred arrived at the residence of a wealthy man he was hired to escort out of the country before his capture by the authorities. The client paid him up front, but Fred noted the man had numerous bags of cash and could have offered a much higher fee. Their transaction was interrupted by the arrival of Anne, a representative from the oil company. While Anne spoke with the client, Fred waited outside with the other bodyguards. They were powerless when the police showed up to raid the property. The wealthy man's attempt to bribe the police captain resulted in him being shot, and Anne fled to hide. Hearing the gunshot, Fred and the other guards engaged the officers outside, quickly overpowering them and finishing them off. Fred then went inside. Just as the captain was about to shoot him, another guard intervened and killed the captain, while a third guard subdued an officer in the pool. Fred and his partner fought their way through the house, shooting a cop to rescue Anne. After seeing her off at the airport, Fred went to Alex, proposing they use the explosives to crack the client's safe. Alex initially objected, fearing the risk to his family, but Fred convinced him it was a safe plan. Returning to the present day, Alex's wife Ala and their daughter are residents of the same camp as Fred. Ala suspects the bandits were targeting Fred due to some illicit dealings, but Fred insists he is working to earn enough money for her and her daughter to leave the country. Ala, however, refuses to go without Alex, who is now incarcerated. She holds Fred responsible for endangering her family by killing police officers. Suddenly, a gas leak from the earlier shootout ignites, causing a massive explosion in the nearby oil field. The flames soar into the sky, blanketing the area in black smoke. Meanwhile, in prison, Alex is being forced to fight other inmates for the entertainment and betting profits of the guards. Following a swift victory, he faces a colossal opponent. Unintimidated, Alex takes the man down with a headbutt and a flurry of punches. An officer pays him for the fight, a smaller amount than the others receive because of his cop-killer status. When the officer threatens him for his defiant attitude, Alex easily knocks him down and scatters the money for the other prisoners to grab. In the ensuing chaos, Alex fends off several more officers until the guards open fire to restore order. He is then moved to a solitary cell. That night, a guard informs Alex that he now owes them 10 more fights for his earlier actions. Alex refuses, but the guard explains that his usefulness is the only thing keeping him alive. Without fighting, he will lose his protection. Alex breaks down in frustration, remembering the night of the robbery. When the brothers got to the mansion, Alex was horrified by the sight of the bodies and told Fred he never would have participated had he known about the dead officers. While Alex set the charges on the safe, Fred stood watch. A team of soldiers arrived and discovered Alex in the act. The explosives then detonated, killing several men. Alex was arrested as Fred watched, concealed in the shadows. Back in the present, the fire at the gas leak is still raging the next morning. Anne is hired to handle the crisis and is given 24 hours. The leak threatens to ignite a second, larger gas pocket beneath the camp, which would destroy it. Her plan, which she shares with Fred upon her helicopter's arrival, is to detonate 100 kilograms of nitroglycerin to extinguish the fire. The NGO has agreed to assist. Anne wants Fred to drive the nitroglycerin and offers to get Alex released from prison to manage the explosives, with her own team providing security. If successful, she promises a payment of $1 million and safe passage out of the country for the entire family. Ala urges Fred to accept the deal to save Alex. Fred has her leave so he can discuss the details. He learns that expert drillers are also supposed to be en route and that Clara and Jabril will serve as his guides due to their local knowledge. In prison, Alex is given fresh clothes and collected by Anne's men. Fred and the team are flown by helicopter to the convoy's staging point. They are informed they cannot transport the nitroglycerin by air due to its instability, meaning they must pass through a checkpoint. Their cover will be a humanitarian convoy. Jabril questions why the refugee camp has not been evacuated. Anne's employee, Gaudier, explains that moving 5,000 people without alerting the bandits is an impossibility. Suddenly, a rocket explodes near the helicopter, releasing toxic gas. The team dons masks as the pilot executes evasive maneuvers to dodge more rockets. They manage to escape the attack range unharmed. That evening, they reach a warehouse where the brothers are reunited. An enraged Alex immediately punches Fred, who restrains him and urges him to focus on the mission. With Alex still seething, Clara reminds him to think of his family, reassuring him of their safety. Gaudier then presents a sample of the old nitroglycerin. Alex tests a single drop on the ground, which produces a significant flame. He argues that such a volatile substance should be transported in 2 trucks, not 1. The brothers agree to each drive a vehicle. Clara and Jabril leave to procure passes for the team from their organization. Alex instructs Fred to get extra crates for the nitroglycerin, refusing any further conversation. Once equipped with weapons, body armor, and radios, the convoy departs. They soon arrive at the checkpoint, all wearing vests with the NGO logo. Clara presents their identification to the soldiers, who are irritated by the unannounced supply run. She successfully persuades them of the emergency, and they are permitted to proceed. The next day, they reach the company's solar plant. Gaudier has Clara wait in the car while the brothers handle the nitro. Inside the plant, they find a guard bound with tape. The nitroglycerin is stored in small canisters, which they carefully load into crates, taking only the required amount and leaving 1 canister behind. After the trucks depart, the captive guard frees himself and attacks another guard. During their struggle, they knock over the remaining canister, causing a large explosion. Fortunately, the blast is contained, and the convoy is already a safe distance away. Later, Gaudier confronts Clara about her sullen mood. She stops the car, accusing him of being heartless and indifferent to casualties. She then leaves the car and joins Fred in his truck. A few miles on, they encounter an army roadblock in what should be a non-militarized zone. As they stop, they see people lining the road and realize it's a bandit ambush disguised as a military checkpoint. Gaudier informs the commander they are transporting medical supplies and provides the necessary paperwork, but refuses to pay a bribe. When the commander insists on inspecting the trucks, his men fire warning shots into the air. A frustrated Jabril exits his vehicle, displaying the organization's logo with his hands raised, insisting they are there to help. The commander approaches with his gun drawn, but Alex grabs him from behind with a grenade. As the other bandits advance, Gaudier also draws his weapon. After a tense standoff, Gaudier shoots a bandit, and Fred fires from his truck window. The enemy returns fire, and Jabril is tragically killed. A full firefight breaks out. One of the convoy guards runs over the commander with his motorcycle. Alex throws the grenade at a group of soldiers, while Fred, Gaudier, and the other guards continue to exchange fire. Clara rushes to Jabril's side and wants to take his body with them, but Fred has to pull her back to the truck. With the bandits seemingly defeated, they prepare to leave, unaware that the commander has survived. He reappears with reinforcements and pursues the convoy, firing on them. Gaudier returns fire but needs to reload, while the motorcyclist swerves to dodge bullets. A shot hits one of the trucks, dangerously close to the nitro. Alex accelerates to create distance, and the biker careens off the road. With a fresh magazine, Gaudier makes several accurate shots, killing the commander and his men and sending their vehicles off the road. The convoy halts on a dirt path. Gaudier approaches the disabled vehicles and shoots the occupants again to be certain. The brothers use the brake to secure the nitroglycerin, which has been shaken by the high-speed drive. A furious Clara tries to attack Gaudier, blaming him for Jabril's death due to his refusal to pay the bribe. Fred has to restrain her. With only 8 hours remaining, Gaudier announces a change of plans. They will take the North Road. Meanwhile, at the camp, the fire is growing larger, causing panic among the residents. Sometime later, the convoy is on the North Road when the ground beneath an ATV guard explodes. They have strayed into a minefield. Though it will be slow, their only option is to clear the road by hand, using chains to detect the mines. Alex intends to work alone, but Fred insists on helping. Together, the brothers meticulously check the road, carefully removing each mine they find. At one point, Fred steps on a mine that Alex is unable to disarm. Fred apologizes for his past actions, but Alex refuses to abandon him. They count to 3, and Alex yanks Fred off the mine. Nothing happens. Overcome with relief, the brothers share a laugh. Just then, a sniper opens fire from the brush. The team takes cover and returns fire until the shooter is neutralized. During the exchange, another guard steps on an active mine and is killed. Afterward, Gaudier tends to a bullet graze on his arm. Clara offers condolences, but Gaudier remains detached and professional. With 2 roads ahead that merge 30 miles from their destination, they decide to split up to increase their chances. Before they part, Clara gives Fred a passionate kiss. A short time later, Clara and Alex find their path blocked by a rock slide. Alex drills into the rocks, inserts a small amount of nitro, and detonates it from a distance, successfully clearing the way. Meanwhile, Fred and Gaudier encounter a road obstructed by an oil pond created by locals. Fred gauges the depth and determines the truck can make it through. He drives into the oil, and though the wheels struggle for traction, they eventually push through to the other side. Suddenly, Gaudier draws his gun on Fred. Believing the most difficult part is over, he plans to complete the mission alone and claim Fred's share of the payment. He shoots Fred, causing him to fall from the truck, and drives on. Back at the camp, Ala sees the flames beginning to damage a tower. With only 2 hours left, Clara and Alex reach the oil pond. Seeing the tracks from the other truck, they know it's passable. With Alex guiding, Clara drives through. Meanwhile, on the mountain, an overconfident Gaudier, unfamiliar with the terrain, drives the truck over the edge of a cliff. The nitroglycerin instantly detonates, killing him. Alex and Clara witness the explosion and assume Fred is dead. A local man then appears and asks for help, leading them to Fred's unconscious body. The man explains what Gaudier did, having witnessed it from hiding. They load Fred into their truck and continue the journey. At the camp, Anne calls her company about the drilling team, which has not arrived. Her boss informs her their helicopter was shot down, and there isn't time to send a replacement. If the mission fails, Anne will be held responsible. After the call, she orders her guard to take Ala and her daughter hostage. With only an hour to spare, Alex is frustrated to see a bandit vehicle trailing them. In a surprising move, Clara climbs onto the roof of the moving truck as the bandits open fire. She makes her way to the back and begins throwing canisters of nitroglycerin at their pursuers until their vehicle explodes and tumbles off the road. They soon reach the camp, where the fire has grown immense. Anne's guard holds Ala at gunpoint as Anne explains that with no drilling team, the only way to save the refugees is to drive the truck directly into the well. Hearing this, Fred opens fire from the truck, killing both Anne and her guard. Fred weeps as he watches his brother's reunion with his family. However, the flames are intensifying. He starts the truck. Realizing his intent, Clara tries to stop him, but Fred simply smiles and drives forward. The truck plummets into the oil field, triggering a colossal explosion that sacrifices Fred but neutralizes the threat, saving the refugee camp just in time. The locals erupt in celebration as a helicopter arrives to evacuate Clara, Alex, and his family. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.